What's good, Academy Nation? It's your boy Cass here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the first ever GPA watch party. I've never done one of these before, so excuse me if I don't know what to do, or what I'm doing. We're gonna figure it out together. Thanks for coming and supporting the league. If you are a coach, captain, team member, fan, moderator, what have you, thanks for supporting the league and all that we got going on here. And I will be here to break down, I feel like my headset's really loud. I'll be here to break down all the stuff that's going on in week 1. Now we are currently in the middle of week 3 play of the league. We're taking a little bit of a break to give some space for content, so there is a week difference and a week buffer between weeks, so that's why we didn't start last week or anything like that. But we were starting now with week 1, even though they're already playing their week 3 matches. So you'll see some of the stats and stuff updated. We're not going to pay attention to that. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about the stuff as we go on, but just don't worry too much about all the stuff on the doc. So I'm showing you the doc right now because we got to talk about a lot of stuff, because there is a lot of stuff to talk about. Mostly the fact that we have to go through all of the grace period. We have to go through all of the changes for the first week, and then we finally get to watch the matches and those kinds of things. So we got a lot to go through. And a little sad that I don't get to play in this season. It's looked really good, and it looks like the competition's been really great. So shout out to coaches for doing a good job so far in the first 2-3 weeks of play. But let's jump into it. So if you watch the analysis, you knew what the teams are. They're going to look different on the screen. That's because things have changed. So I'm going to go through the changes that happened all the way from the beginning. So start of grace period, which was, I think, the day I recorded this, or the day after, the day before I recorded the breakdown of the teams and stuff, which if you haven't checked, go check it out. I'll give you my analysis of the base teams. I think a lot of them have gotten way better. A lot of them obviously watched the video and have taken some things in consideration to make their teams a lot better. So the teams look a lot different now. So we'll look at, we'll start off with Thread's team. They are drafted, Thread's team, the Chipotle Choodles, drafted Ogerpon Wellspring and traded it to Clockwork and the Kansas City Torrents for Pecharunt. Honestly, 2 great Pokemon. I feel like that's a pretty fair trade, all things considered. Scal, I forget what team is Scal. Scal's the Orange County Oshawott, so it's this team right here on the screen. They dropped Kingambit and Terra Wugtrio for Torkoal and Terra Cryogonal. They also traded this later again. I forget what the composition was, but it's a great trade right here off the beginning because it does get rapid spin support. And if you look at the team here, Heatran is neutral to it, but it's still going to take a lot of damage. Gliscor, not going to want to see rocks on the field. Altaria, not going to want to see rocks on the field. So some of those changes were great, especially with the team needing those things. That's great. Let's see what else was traded. Wayscar in the Golden Glaceon's first overall pick dropped Primarina, Terraflagon, Sinistra, and Deoxys Speed form. Whoa. For Walking Wake, Terra Arboliva, Jirachi, and Dachshund. Okay. It's a pretty good drop. And I mean, they got 8 points back, which is great. Dio Speed, I agree with getting rid of Dio Speed. I never liked Dio Speed. I feel like it's kind of just, I mean, it can be good in the right hands, but again, it's not me. You were talking my perspective. I don't like it. I don't know. I play more defensive, I guess, than that kind of stuff, and I don't want to like Focus Sash Rocks lead or something like that. It could also be a good breaker in the back, so I guess that's fair, but I don't mind that as trades. Terra Flagon, I think, is actually really strong. But I did talk about that. I remember talking about Terra Arboliva as one of the best Terra captains in the format because it was one of the best Terra Pokemon, period, just because of Stab, Terra, Blast, Off Rip, and some great Terra typings to help out with its abilities and those kinds of things. Thread drops Mamoswine to get Quagsire and Ambipom. There's not much there. Quag's good, but it requires everyone to bring grass type move. Wayscar picks up Rotom and Dashman as a Terra captain. That is still the same, but Dashman is no longer a Terra captain now. A lot of people overhauled their teams here. So that is crazy. Wastecar again picking up Colossal and changing Terra Ninetales to Terra Colossal, which we did talk about in the video. I'm actually going to skip to week 1. I think we've covered all these things. So, but let me see. There's effective week 2s. Let me see effective week 1s. I don't think we had any week 1 trades. No, because they all would have been before this. So it's really just figuring out where I stopped. We talked about Cyclosaur, Dunsparce, Avalugg. I know we did that in the video, so please go check it out. We talked about Tira Warrior Deer, so that's done. We talked about Bonnet and Wishcash. Oh, so this is where we are. I don't know who this is. Let me look at this because I have everything truncated. So I can't. King Kryptonite. King Kryptonite and the Phoenix Sunkern. I'm upset with you. You got rid of Crocolore. Man, the Crocolore's broken, dude. That's okay. It's fine. Crocolore's actually really fun. I loved using it last season that I played. But I understand getting Noivern in that trade. So again, everything's not going to be a 1-for-1 trade. You're going to have to give up something to get something else. You're always not going to fill the same roles the same way. Pokemon are better for different things. So that was a trade that's happening week 1 to week 2. We're having matches happen right now, honestly, which is hilarious. So I'm expecting some people to jump in here. I think Arceus dropped that demon. Dude, that guy is broken. I loved it. Terra Crocolore was probably, honestly, to my opinion, way more fun than Terra Knacklasack, even though Knacklasack is way better in my opinion. But we see Thread drop Grimmsnarl to get Keldeo back, which is funny. Love that. I talked about Grimmsnarl in the team builder, where I didn't really see it filling the role on the team. Where's Thread's team? Thread's team's right here. I talked about that, and you know, he doesn't have a fairy type now, which is not great in my opinion, because you have a super good Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Scizor Gouging Fire, and not having the fairy is kind of sad. But oh, you traded the Terra. You traded the Terra. Grim is still here. I still don't like Fairy Grim as the core. I said that, but thank you for catching me on that. It is just the trading of the Terra. Honestly, great trade. I will give you that one. Absolutely give you that one. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Big trades from Banzai. That happens in week 3, I believe. Nope, it is week 2. It's week 2. So we're gonna see Clodsire, Ogerpon, Milotic, and Farigiraf for week 1, and then that's gonna switch to Gengar, Hippowdon, Vaporeon, Modem and Kamala. Not a bad switch. And then Dom will for week 2 go Wishcash for Sandslash, like that trade. And then that is all of the week 1 to week 2. So those will be the changes that we're seeing going into this. Unfortunately, I need to take like a screenshot, and I'll probably have this for week 3. So I'll take a screenshot of like the teams and all that stuff, and we can go through them. I can put it on the screen and those kinds of things. But that is where we're at for the league. Still some pretty good teams. Honestly, I do stand by a lot of what I said in the analysis, but there were some changes to get rid of some of those issues that I saw. I'm trying to think of one right off the bat that I'm not seeing any of them, honestly, which means that they fixed them, which is great. Any major ones? The weirder Volibee still kind of weird, but hey, they're probably not going to come ever, so that's fine. Trapinch, I believe, still has good use. That's probably Choice Band. Banzai's team does have the Terra Knuckle stack, which is going to do a lot of work. Yeah, I feel like they made all the stuff. They fixed all the things that I really had problems with for the most part. So good for them. And honestly, it was a hard choice when I made that video about the teams, because to me they all seem like pretty good teams overall. Like there were some that I rated less or rated higher because I liked how they played. I liked what I saw from them. I expected them to do well. And it kind of also is like a preseason poll of like, you know how like college football has AP poll? It's kind of like that. But with, you know, this, it's like my ratings kind of gave you, okay, the top 4 are going to be like the ones to watch out for playoffs, and they're probably going to get in. But everyone else, you know, kind of up in the air to try to get. But again, anyone can make playoffs. Weird things happen. It is draft league. Weird stuff happens like that. Cool. Wow, that only took 16 minutes. I expected that to take a lot longer. So let's take a look, ski, at our first match. This is Nightmare Sauce versus Heaven Stranger, which I have no idea what the teams are. So this is the Annihilate versus the Pelipper team. That always irks me when people don't use their Discord names for their usernames over on Showdown, because it's hard to get. All right, so here's the Annihilate team. So that's the Alto Mare Guardians versus. All right, this is the Pelipper team. The Alto Mare Guardians versus King Kryptonite, I believe. Yes. Yep. You guys know them better than me. Yeah. So King Kryptonite versus Michael. The Alto Mare Guardians versus the Phoenix Sunkerns. So the teams, looking at them, let's see what the matchup is. Iron Val, Lando, Basculation, Archaludon, Kilowatcher, Latias Pelipper, Mandibuzz, Grafai, Shaman, and Probopass against Greninja, Slowking, Zapdos, Annihilate, Clefable, Latios, Mach Fortress, Bisharp, and Trevenant. Okay, I honestly think this is in King Kryptonite's favor. I do think the team's really good. Val is hard to get through, but obviously things could be used against it. I know we do see Pelipper on the team already, which I'm a little concerned about, because I don't think I would have brought Weather for this. I don't think I would have brought Pelipper for this. Pelipper doesn't really seem to have a good matchup, in my opinion. I probably would have opted for like Iron Val, Lando, Basculation, even without Swift Swim, is good. Probably Archaludon. We could do the Lati versus Latios mirror, but I don't think that's worth it. Maybe Shaman, if you had it at this point in time. Again, I don't know what the teams entirely were. I'll take screenshots before week 3 is over. Trust me, we'll be good. So, I don't know. I wouldn't run Rain, but I think that's the strategy we're going to see. And with Michael, as I said, Greninja wins battles. You bring Greninja, pair that with Zapdos Annihilate. Clefable seems pretty good into this team as a defensive option, specifically not knowing what Valiant's going to be. In that case, I also might bring Muck. Muck just feels good as a lower tier Mon, especially as a Terra Captain for this fight. Could deal with Shaman, could deal with Iron Valiant. Could be a nice wall for Basculegion or something with like a Rocky Helmet set. Yeah. And Bisharp looks good, but Bisharp always looks good. So let's just see what the battle does. So we got Annihilate, Zapdos, Bisharp, Greninja, Fortress, and Slowking. For, again, their names, this one. That is the Guardians. So the Alto Mare Guardians are on the top, and the bottom is the Phoenix Suncurrents. I had to think about the names there. Phoenix Suncurrents. I like that because it's a playoff Phoenix Suns. I didn't mention that. I should have mentioned that in the video. So looks like we got Rain, Heavy Rain. I think that honestly might be a downfall of this team, because Zapdos and Greninja really make use of Rain well. Fortress likes Rain as well, and also the weather pivoting with, I believe, Slowking. I don't know. I don't know if Glorian Slowking gets chilly reception. I think it does. I know one of them do, but I can't remember which. So we got some hazards. I would imagine if I'm looking at this, I'm either. So it really comes down to what the lead was, I think. And if I'm seeing this, I might be willing to throw out my Iron Valiant first. Again, I have no idea what the teams are until we get into the battle, because I don't have any calcs for things. I have three of the 12 teams I have, so I will be talking about those as we go through it. But I don't really see a clear, good strategy for either team to get through right now. Maybe Rage Fist, a bulky Annihilate Rage Fist set could work, but there's not really it's more of a specially offensive team, and I don't think it has Terra. I'm trying to see what the Terra captains are. It would be Terra Water, Bisharp, Terra Fairy, Bastia Legion, I think, are the two. And Terra Water on Fortress. Which I think it's, you want Terra Bisharp here. Terra Water Fortress probably is just an option in case something else. I don't think was there a fire type on that team? Yeah, maybe it was there for like Fire, Blast, Flamethrower, Clefable or something like that. I don't know. But let's see what we got. All right, let's do a sound. We got sounds. All right, so Zapdos, Pelipper, great lead. We see Thunder into Volt Absorb, which is great. See, I don't mind that. Okay, so before it goes any further, I don't mind that for bringing Kilowattrel. Other than that, I don't really see a great use for it. But it does kind of shut down Zapdos. And I would expect it to be more of a pivoting set. So this should be a U-turn. It's a Thunder. Oh, we're going to see Thunder out there. Dang. Chilly Reception. Straight back out into Zapdos. Oh, you're going to Terra Electric? Is that legal? Hold on. Kilowattrel is a Terra captain. I just didn't recognize it because it was Terra Electric. So you were trying to get a guaranteed KO on maybe even Zapdos. It's probably a calc. I would imagine that's close to max special. Kilowattrel may be modest. And then trying to get a KO on non-defensive Zapdos, which obviously it is defensive Zapdos. Or you also pick up the KO on Slowking, but that Regenerator probably could deal with that. And Para is not the end of the world. Although throwing away Zapdos feels kind of sucky here. Roost, that'll maybe keep you alive. So now it just becomes a stall of rain stall, which is a good idea. I'm surprised it's not like... See, obviously, like, rain was considered when building this team, because we see Thunder Zapdos, and that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't have brought it. I might not have brought it, because Zapdos does really well on it. Greninja does really well on it. Does this team have a ground type? It does. I don't know why Landorus isn't here. Oh, Landorus is here. I'm gonna look at the wrong team. Yeah, that is a pretty big weakness. If you're gonna run Rain, a good electric type, I guess it's not your team. So the Ultimate Guardians might consider that for future. I honestly think a Terra Ground Muck would have been great here for this situation. A Terra Ground Fortress, Terra Ground Bisharp, any of them would have been great here. But obviously you got to get in, and that's the tough part. Terra Kilowattrel was tough. Okay, so there's the rain gone. We see that Pelipper is Damp Rock. Let me think. What would I have done? I think I might have led Archaludon and tried to get, knowing that if my win con was rain, I might have tried to get Archaludon in to get Stealth Rocks up versus the Zapdos, which was the lead. Because if they predict you to lead Pelipper, then, you know, I would have been concerned about that, and I would have just got Stealth Rocks up immediately, then try to go through rain. Probably not got it, but would have got rid of Fortress early on, and then you could have definitely kept it around a little bit. Plus, that would have killed Zapdos on the reswitch in, and would limit the Regenerator use. Well, I guess it wouldn't really limit the Regenerator uses for Slowking, but it makes Slowking a little bit less able to do that for free. So yeah, we're stalling out rain here. There's Electroshot for special attack. Nothing too crazy there. This is a very defensive Zapdos, it feels like. But all you're doing with roosting here is waiting for, you know, letting this Archaludon set up. And now you're trying to play off of a Para not happening. Yeah. But he made a bad joke, so he is going to get Rain Up. That kills the Zapdos, which you don't want to see here. And then Annihilate is a good bring-in. But on the back foot here, CC is not the move we want to see come out. So we see Bisharp. This is probably Hurricane. Yeah. So Bisharp Bisharp coming here is really good because of the Hurricane. It's got a good defensive capability, and that is, in my opinion, probably Eviolite. I don't know for sure. Just looking at it. But that's a good bring-in. Maybe I don't Terra this. But like a Terra Ground, I guess the other issue with Terra Ground is the Pelipper. And how do you stop that? So, I don't know, maybe, I guess you don't need Terra Electric. It's really hard to figure out a good Terra here. But I don't think Bisharp wants to Terra. It might be the Terra option, but I don't think it wants to Terra. So, I didn't see if Pelipper, I think Pelipper has U-turn. No, it just straight switches out. A Thunder Waving Bisharp. Nice. Good tech. I like that tech. And now obviously you're just trying to get rid of, you're just letting Fortress die here. I think that's the problem. Zapdos went too quickly. Fortress went out. Greninja showing off Protean U-turn. Great switch into Archaludon with stamina. So now what? I mean, I might have stayed in there for the CC, but you do have options. Annihilate maybe didn't have a great matchup here. All right, Sub is phenomenal. There's the water to stop Wave Crash. Okay, that makes sense. And then there's Taunt. Is I have a question. Did we not ban Last Respects? Last Respect is allowed. Okay. Just checking, you know. You never know. You never know. I thought we left it. I just wanted to be sure. Some leagues don't. Makes sense. Does get the kill on Slowking. So now, really, what's your way back into this fight? There's not really, like, it's Bisharp not being defensive, but it obviously is meant to be a defensive set. So I don't even know if there is a way back into this fight. I mean, you try to Rage Fist, but the sub gives you enough to KO Annihilate. I'm gonna get silly with a lot. Well, yes, yes, it does. I don't understand why you switch out there. I feel like that's just a win. Let me go back a couple turns. We did Terra the Kilowattrel, so that is fair. So there is no free Terra into Bastion Legion here. And I'm probably guessing that a Dark type move, you're fearing a Dark type move, so you're just going to pivot out. And you're trying to catch Lando coming in, or Pelipper, or anything. That a choice, that might be choice specs. That has to be choice specs Greninja, to my opinion. And yeah, Bisharp 1v6 isn't winning. Is this a clean sweep? Yeah, it's a clean. That's a 6-0. Wow. Wow. Yeah, definitely not a great matchup. A great matchup for Michael coming into this. I am remiss to say that Clefable did not come as a big special defensive Pokemon. That would have been great. Latios would have been nice to help deal with the Rain Assault. Maybe no Fortress, maybe leave behind Slowking. I guess Slowking kind of could have done the defensive stuff, but maybe leave behind Slowking, maybe leave behind Fortress. Grab Clefable, Latios. I think that would have helped you out. Didn't really seem to be a lot of offense. I don't know if you bring Fortress. I think maybe Terra Muck. I do feel like Terra Muck was a good bring. Like ground Terra Muck. You know, you have Zapdos for Pelipper. You don't have to worry about anything else. I mean, Zapdos is good into this team. Like it forces Kilowattrel to be Volt Absorb, and you can predict that a little bit better. And Zapdos could U-turn, so I would be interested to see what the rest of that Zapdos set was. Obviously, we didn't get any of that information, but it would have been cool to see what the switch was. So, yeah, that's not a great 6-0 to see, and that leaves a little bit something to be desired for next week's matchup for the Alto Mare Guardians. But we're gonna move on to Phantom versus Joe Spagoat, the GOAT. And we're gonna take a look at this. So Phantom is the coach. Why can't I think what your team's called right now? Phantom is West Palm Lugias. I'm like, yes, we've played them before. Which is the Goldingo, Urshifu Rapid Spikes, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Tinglu, Cyclizar, Ogerpon Hearthflame with the trade that was made, Sylveon, Thundurus, Monkey Dory, Dunsparce, Avalugg, and Trapinch. The very fun Trapinch. I would love to see Trapinch Terrabug. Phantom, if you're watching. Terrabug Trapinch. Get rid of Cyclizar. That's just me. That might just be me. Cool team. I like that team a lot. And then we're playing Joe Spagoat and the Carolina Crocodauts, which has arguably a really stupid team. Led with Dragapult, Iron Treads, Palafin. Yeah. I think I just said with this team, bring the top 6 each week, forget about the rest, throw the last slot around how you want to, and yeah, we'll go from there. But so we get the Palafin, Hydrapple, Blissey, Overquill, Iron Treads, and Azelf versus Sylveon, assuming an Avalugg, the Dunsparce, Tinglu, Urshifu, and Ogerpon, with Terra Poison on Avalugg, Terra Ghost on the Dunsparce. I mentioned that in the video that it would be a good Pokemon to throw Terra Ghost onto. And then we have Fire Hydrapple on the other side, and Terra Dark on Azelf. I wonder if the idea is Azelf the Avalugg from one perspective, but also if I'm seeing Avalugg on the team, if I'm seeing Avalugg and Tinglu and Ogerpon Fire Hearth, whatever, or Ogerpon Fires, what am I call it? I might just lead my Dolphin and flip turn out and get that set up, and I could get a free switch into probably Hydrapple from there. I'm a little concerned about the Blissey, I'll be honest. I don't know what you bring instead, but that's a little terrifying. Sylveon could be interesting, but I think because Terra Hydrapple, that matchup's not great. I don't know, these two teams that I think it could go either way, really. I think it depends on hazards here and who's gonna get hazards up and how bad people want hazards up. That's just me. What's the lead? What's the lead matchup? Avalugg, Azelf. Okay, see, I thought about that. Seeing the Terra Poison, would you go Azelf? And definitely, I think it's just rock for rocks, unless you're gonna switch. Oh, it's gonna be a U-turn. That's interesting. That's interesting. If I was Avalugg here, I might just set up rocks if I had it. No Rattled? We're looking at Rattled? Who has Rattled? Can I not remember somebody's ability? Oh, it's Rattled Dunsparce. Did that not work? Interesting. No idea. No idea why that didn't work. All right, lefties. See, now you're on the back foot this entire time, and that taunt is huge. And now Palafin comes in to take a body press, which you probably didn't want to take. And again, I think like this turn 4 could have been turn 1, but you're coming in now with a Palafin at half and little to no damage on the Avalugg. I mean, I might have built my treads in such a way to deal with this. You know, Earthquake and Iron Head, I guess it would be Earth Power and Flash Cannon could have been great into this because of its defensive capabilities. But obviously, that's not how the Dunsparce is built. That's obviously not how they were built. And that crit is annoying. Because Alizef takes that. Knockoff is great. So more of a utility as Elf. I'm surprised we haven't seen Rocks yet. Especially knowing that switch was going to happen. We do see Quark Drive from the treads. And there's where Rocks comes in. Okay. So I think it's going to come down to Rocks. And who gets them. But now it's just spinning them away. So this is just an war of attrition here. For probably like 5 turns, I would imagine. Until eventually, you know, a crit happens or something. Oh, no, it only was 2. All right, so Ting-Lu is a problem. Again, there's not a great option for Ting-Lu, but here's more hazards. Yeah, hazards look good. I talked about that with Phantom's team. Hazards look really good to come out from this team. Baton Pass, no stat change. Well, that's crazy. That's a good idea. And that Glare Dunsparce is good. Oh, the tech! Was that a Lumberry tech? Lumberry tech. Nice. So, the one thing I like about and hate about Iron Treads, it's a really good rapid spinner, but it forces it to play a specific set. Now, obviously, we saw a booster energy set, which means this is more offensive. And that might work for this team. Honestly, it probably was the way you wanted to play it, considering there's Ogerpon. That might have been an idea to build booster energy to outspeed Ogerpon. But to me, it just felt like it got off it was sent for no reason. And maybe you could have got away with not worrying about hazards until a later point in the game. But I also think Hydrapple here. Ooh, Rock Tomb Tech. Rock Tomb Tech is cool. Hydrapple did its job. Terrifier, great call this week for that Ogerpon. And Intimidate's nice because oh, that's nasty. That's nasty. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Adrenaline Orb, Urshifu. Ooh. Obviously predicting Overquill to come. Which is probably why Ting-Lu is around. And maybe why Poison is the Terra of choice for Avalugg. But a speed boosting one to deal with booster speed Iron Treads is crazy. Yeah, Surging Strikes just does a lot. And that just means you're faster. So this is Urshifu sweep here. What's stopping it? What stops it? You have, as I said, spikes and rocks are gonna come into play here. Those hazards are gonna be are really what's gonna win this game. It's not that okay. Credit where credit is due. Adrenaline Orb is amazing. I am a big fan. Well played. But those spikes and the spike from Ting-Lu and then the rocks from, I think, who set up rocks? Was it Dunsparce? Yeah, Dunsparce. Yeah, getting one of each of those on the field. Honestly, 2 layers of spikes does the same thing. But having both hazards on the field, chipping away, puts everything in range for Urshifu, even at -1. Which is crazy, and I'm sure they maybe didn't calc that, but everything is in range here. And the para to stop Iron Treads is great. Surging Strikes is broken. Honestly, this is why I hate Urshifu so much. It's just annoying. And the Terrifier makes you weak to it. You're dead. So yeah, Urshifu just gets, what, 6 kills here? That's crazy. Great tech. Great tech. I think that is a phenomenal build. It's what to be expected from Phantom, honestly. Like, good builds like that. That's a great team. I love that team. Did we even see? Yeah. I mean, you needed no other Pokemon. In this team, you could have brought every sort of hazard and then just let Urshifu sweep, which is basically what happened. But I said at the beginning, the rocks were going to matter, and it's who got them and who didn't care about them. And obviously Phantom got to a point where the rocks didn't matter. So Yeah, it worked out well. And then, you know, Joe's team needed the rocks. So that was part of it. Let's take a little bit more look at Joe's team because I do have his build here. I'm wondering if I can like pull it over here like this. All right, cool. All right, so boom. This is interesting. Throat spray, boom burst, surf. That's a special Palafin. Holy crap. All right, we saw Lumberry. I love that tech. Leftovers Blissey with defensive investment. So my other question is, did you have a good way? What was Joe's way to deal with? It was honestly, I think Overquill. I want to know what the Overquill build was. I think Overquill with like Rocky Helmet would have been the ideal. Yeah, it had some defensive investment. Yeah, I know there's a little team, but I want to be able, so you can be able to see the breakdown over here. So, I mean, that's what this team's really got to worry about. Anyone who plays Phantom has to really consider, what do I do to stop Urshifu? Because it is a crazy Pokemon. Assault Vest Levitate, that's an interesting... So it's kind of a faint lead. I don't know if I like that or not. Again, in this situation, I think the non-lead Palafin was a problem. Because if you lead Palafin, I think you can get into a pretty good spot with hero mode to do a lot of damage to this team. But we chose choosing the lead as Elf and faint the, you know, the Rocks U-turn lead wasn't the play. Again, we have no idea what Phantom's team was doing, but it obviously did its job. So great for him. Good battle. Again, I'm really interested in that Sylveon baton pass, maybe. I don't know. We don't have a lot of information. 25 turn battle doesn't give a lot of information, honestly. So two pretty straightforward fights right off the bat. All right, so this is Dom and Soapy Boogas. RGD Dom. I always say your name backwards. No, I got it right. RDG Dom with the pristine Primarinas here. The other Urshifu. So again, those two teams, how you beat Urshifu is the real big counter, and can you stop the things that are going to prevent you from getting to Urshifu? That's the other thing. So if you can deal with those, I think you can have a chance at winning. But this team looked nuts. I don't think it changed too much. I know Sandslash was a trade. I don't remember what for at this point in time. I think it was Wishcash, which is fair. The Sceptile, I would love to see Unburden the Sceptile do some work, but yeah, again, I think this is top 6, and you just let it run. And then we are going against Soapy Boogas, and I forget. Are they the? Look at me. Well, let's see what they brought. It's the Colossal team, which means it's a Wastecaw. I forgot Wastecaw does that. Wastecaw. I always feel like Quipkey from Big Bang Theory when I say Wastecaw, because that's just kind of how he talks. So Wastecaw. So Sun is an option here. Potentially. I mean, it's Sun versus Urshi. I know you can't see. So the top of his list above Jirachi is Chien Pao, Iron Moth, Walking Wake, Arboliva, Jirachi. And then you can see the rest of the team. I don't know. Maybe, like, if I'm doing this, I might build a Fairy type Terra Colossal to try to tank the Urshifu. Or maybe Fairy Terra type Arboliva. Actually, I think the Colossal's better in this situation. But yeah, it's I don't know what else you I mean, Slitherwing maybe can break Urshifu with Choice Band First Impression. I The defensive Darkspawn could be cool to stop Cinderace and Urshifu, but again, it just depends. But we get to know what Wastecaw brought because we have his team. So let's pull that down so we can see the team. All right. We are seeing Sun. We're seeing Sun, but is there? What's the Sun abuser? Slitherwing and Walking Wake. Okay. Okay, I had to figure out what those were. Terrabug. Terrabug also works. Terrabug also works. Rocky Helmet, Terrabug, Max Defense. Yeah, that's... Obviously, they thought about the Urshifu thing, and I think that Colossal is definitely the wave to do that. I think Urshifu gets, like, not Ancient Power, Aerial Ace, though, or something like that for coverage for bugs, so maybe not the best choice, but I like the idea. Levitate, Choice Scarf, Rotom. Okay. Don't know how I feel about that. Ninetales Weather, that's a standard speedy weather, you know, encore set. Got it. Booster Energy Moth. For fighting against Pivot, it's definitely speed invested. Choice Scarf, Slitherwing. With the first impression, U-turn pivoting. And Leafeon with Chlorophyll. Okay, I don't hate that. And definitely looking like it's meant to be the Terra option. I do think a defensive Terra works better this week, but I don't hate the team going into it. I don't hate the team, but let's see what happens. All right, what's the lead? What are we looking at? I definitely start with if I'm looking down, no Urshifu, I'm probably leading Colossal. Just to get rocks up, to do something. You want to shut down the two fire types and the flying type on the opposing team. I understand the Choice Scarf Rotom now, seeing the Tornadus there, which has a good matchup into your team. Sun Leafeon seems kind of power this week against this. I'm definitely seeing my win con is probably keeping either Leafeon or Slitherwing alive and having Sun to boost them. I would lead Colossal here. And if I'm on the other side, I probably anticipate the Colossal and maybe just go for a safe Rotom. There is no ground type, so you can Volt Switch if you get a bad matchup. You could also start Salazzle, and assuming this is like an encore set to try to like trap Colossal into rocks. Although if it is Colossal, it could be Steam Engine Colossal, and that would not be good. You might go Goodra to try to get some of your own hazards or something up. Maybe run Body Press, but there's a lot of options for this to happen. So let's see what goes on. Let's see what the lead. I think this matters a lot. A Meloetta. Okay, so I'm interested in both of these. Were not things I would have imagined to lead with. I mean, I guess, isn't the Rotom have Volt Switch too? So it might just be U-turn Volt Switch thing. Okay. Don't hate that. No Volt Switch, or maybe didn't choose to use Volt Switch. Here's Rocks. The wash covers that. In the Ninetales, set Sun to take the hit, which is Willow. Interesting. I have no idea why you don't just... Oh, that is nice. That is good tech. That is good tech. That's why Encore's good. I think it was maybe meant for like some sort of setup variant of maybe the Urshifu of some sort. Maybe like bulk. I think it maybe get bulk up. Again, I'm interested in this Meloetta. I'm not really sure what it could do. You don't want a Terra here. I don't think Terra Bug helps you out. So I think you just yeah. Send Weather Ball. So that's Rocky Helmet, right? I mean, at this point, yeah, good prediction. Knowing that Will-O-Wisp didn't work, and there's a free switch into a potentially solar beaming Ninetales, you go for Hydro Pump, which is fair. I'm not sure I would have done that, just because obviously hindsight, but you know, if he didn't show Solar Beam off the rip, I would have.
credit card offers with confidence.
I do feel like the Solar Beam was a pretty okay attack. Especially in the sun, because you don't lose anything from like the Salazzle or the Cinderace sitting there. I don't know. That might just be me. But also the switching in the Leafeon is very risky because you can just make the Will-O-Wisp play again and suddenly Leafeon doesn't matter. So we'll see what goes on there. This should be a switch. It's not. That's just going to be dead. Rotom. Maybe trying to catch a Willow on the back foot. Maybe forgetting Chlorophyll. I don't know. That shows Life Orb. Gudra is the counter here. Terra Fire. Terra Blast. Well, it does half, which is crazy. A knockoff gets rid of that Life Orb. So I think you actually live that, but Cinderace isn't a bad option. Boots Cinderace, great call. Expecting rocks. Colossal's in. This is definitely trying to get... the Colossal switching was trying to grab the game-winning... Maybe the game-winning Steam Engine boost. So that tells me that's Steam Engine. I mean, it's probably going to be Steam Engine regardless. Court Trains is a sick play. One you don't expect to see, but a sick play. And unfortunately, that means that Cinderace is useless now. But it's always an option. So now rocks are on both sides. Toxic deals with Colossal pretty well. There, you don't have a Colossal answer here. I'm noticing. And I don't know why you wouldn't create one. I don't know why you wouldn't create one. Yeah, good way to tank that. You have to switch now. This is dead. Cinderace. It's not dead. Wow, that's crazy. Gets a Pyro Ball to leave it on 1, which leaves Ninetales as a free switch-in option if you need to. Interesting that there's no... Hold on. That might be Scarfed Tornadus. I don't know this. I think it might be Scarfed Tornadus. I mean, it's 379. I'd actually maybe not. Maybe it's probably max speed. Probably just max speed. All right. Again, Terra Bug is kind of silly. Fire Blast just wins. Fire Blast just wins. And then Fire... Yeah. Terra Fire Blast. Terra Fire Blast. It's Terra Blast, not Fire Blast. Jeez. Yeah. Leafeon is a great sweeper, and it was a good fit for this team. I think that was a good match overall. Definitely a great, well played by Wayscar. Question about Dom's team, though. Your answer to Colossal was the wash, yeah? You had the wash, but... I don't know. I don't trust the Meloetta, so it's hard for me to say that was good. I don't know who was on the team or what, but I knew you did have Wishcash, and Oblivious Wishcash could have been a good answer for Colossal. Could have been a good answer to stop the Sun Sweepers. I think that could have been a nice call for the team. I'm super surprised that Single Strike is not on the team. I know that like you have Chien Pao and Urshifu didn't come. That's crazy. I mean, I guess they don't really care to fight each other, and maybe they're both like, oh, let's leave them off because no one will expect it. But yes, court change. I did talk about that with Dom's team. Like, you definitely want a Rapid Spinner. Because court change, Cinderace is not going to cut it 9 times out of 10. We saw that happen a little bit here. Especially because Cinderace wants to attack and not have to worry about getting rid of hazards. I might have tried... Well, I guess Skarmory would be weak to fire types, but... I don't know. You need something to... If I'm looking at his team, I would say, the best way to deal with Urshifu is the Colossal, which did come that way. And then I need to build to deal with that, which would have been the Rotom Wash. But I think you clicked the wrong move. I think it was the wrong move that was clicked. Like, you needed to not try to get a burn and be cheeky with it. You needed to try, I think, more to get the KO. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of a different play could have changed that by a lot. All right, but either way, that fight was good. That's halfway through our battles. Hope you're all doing well. Get some water if you haven't. Big fan. Big fan. The matchup that I want to talk about, which is my Knackle stack, of course. Hate Terra Ghost Knackle stack. Yo, what's up, Jonathan? Hate Terra Ghost Knackle stack. And there's not really a use for it right here, I guess. But before we jump into this, so this is Banzai versus Time Beans. So the Terapagos, Meowscarada, Kyurem, Lando T. I said, yeah, this is just you bring the top 5 or bring the top 4 and then throw in filler positions, right? I definitely bring the top 4. Where's Banzai? I definitely bring the top 4, fearing that Roaring Moon a little bit. I think maybe Lucario, Terra Lucario feels good here for Roaring Moon, if you're really scared of it. Also good for Bundle. Also good for Knack. Yeah, that Lucario has a great matchup into this team. I think you bring Terapagos. You got to find a way to deal with Corviknight, which, you know, maybe I would bring Lucario Anti-Implosion here. And have an option to throw Terra around. My favorite Pokemon is Charizard. And if you're asking about Megas and stuff, I do prefer Mega X over Standard or Y. I don't know. This feels like a good matchup for Beans. I am very skeptical of Roaring Moon. We don't see it, so obviously Banzai's smart and realizes it's a terrible Pokemon and not to bring it. And that's because I just don't like it, so... Let me down too many times. All right, so what are we looking at? Before I did that, what I need to look here. I wouldn't bring Roaring Moon just because of Kyurem and Lando. I think those two together make it pretty bad. Like Bulbasaur is awesome. I like Bulbasaur. Just Charizard guy. I don't know. I don't know. That doesn't feel like a good matchup. Definitely Knackle stack. I think I might have gone Terra Fighting Knackle stack. Just for Meow, just for Terra, for Lucario, for Reggie. Like, I think fighting makes a lot of sense for this team build, especially with Body Press. You definitely could run the Body Press, Salt Cure, Iron Defense, and then Recover, I think, is the healing move. I'm trying to think. Yeah. So I think that honestly could just do the work for you. Although Ghost, I guess Ghost isn't terrible. It does stop Lucario and Terapagos from doing their things. It does remove your weakness from Meowscarada. The only thing is, Typhlosion would be sick into it. And Feraligatr probably wouldn't care, so... I don't know about that. I do think Terra Lucario and Typhlosion work. I don't know what else I like for this team. I might bring Volcarona to try to get a Quiver. Plus, that could be an okay check to Kyurem and Lando in the right situations. I definitely want Hazards. So maybe you had to run Hazards instead of the bulky set. Just to try to get rid of Shell. I mean, I might have tried Sand, honestly. Would I try Sand here? I don't know. The more I look at Banzai's team, the less I like it. So let me see. I don't have any notes for this team, so we can just look at leads and stuff. So what am I doing? If I'm Banzai, you know, one of the best lead matchups, one of the best leads in the game is Lando. Meow is not a bad lead either because of the pivoting options and U-turn. Seeing that it's Lando and Meow, I might go Iron Bundle just to try to catch something with an Ice Beam or force damage onto Lucario early. Obviously Terra Knuckle Stack could be an option too. I don't like Terra Ghost though, so that's my only thing. I just don't like Terra Ghost there. We have Terra Normal Lucario, that's the one. So Terra Ghost, Knuckle, Terra Normal Lucario. My guess, no, I have not. I know the movie, but I've not heard of it. All right, let's see what happens. Turn 1. Sorry, didn't turn the sound off. Kyurem and Bundle. So, you know, I do like the idea of a bundle. I do like the bundle, as I said. The option to catch something could be great. I think you got caught a little bit here, though. That you probably win the fight versus Kyurem, but what is Kyurem doing is the question. Into Knuckle. Knuckle's a great counter for Kyurem, just not on a Draco. Was that Specs? Was that Specs? That's gotta be max modest or maybe even some Specs damage. We didn't see any we didn't see any drops, so that's interesting. All right, free rocks. Mutera Ghost for taunt here, not Specs. Wait, he tried to do Rock Crab, tried to use Recover. Oh, the taunt came out. Yeah, taunt is a great way to stop that. Smackdown, a great read, assuming that it's going to be bundle. That's why like bundle lead was a good option to try to catch, but the Kyurem was a better, I think, just a better play to get that out of here. So there's Ice Beam. You're doing pressure on Kyurem. It only does 25%. Kyurem is fat. And it doesn't matter what this is. Volcarona is going to tank it pretty well. All right, trying to predict Draco. Does predict Draco. Doesn't get the drop, which is unfortunately terrible. Because that means that you can switch your move without having to worry about... you can switch your move without having the repercussions of being at -2. Which I think Corviknight probably would have liked. Probably Hawaii. Which, yeah, then puts pressure on Kyurem. Not on Kyurem, on Corviknight to do some work. It is lefties. Yeah, so we're trying to set up body press with Corviknight here. And honestly, I don't... Oh, that freeze is nasty. That's dirty. You should be ashamed of yourself, big time beans. You should retire because that freeze is dirty. Yeah, that might have just sold the match. I might just sold the match because that's dead. That's a trade at least, 1 for 1. Gas trying to stop the flame. That's Flame Orb. Maybe trying to stop Guts Flame Orb. We don't see Guts Flame Orb. Interesting. There's T spikes to try to do. I don't know what that's trying to do. Maybe that's trying to catch. I think it's trying to catch Knuckle Stack on the, because that's one of the good ways to stop it is to toxic it. So honestly, I would expect maybe another toxic spikes here. Just let Weezing go down. All right, predicted Quiver. That's not a bad idea. I would have set up spikes. The gas is gone. Novocaine, the Meowscarada's in. You're trying to get rid of what, heavy duty boots? Yeah. Holy crap, that did not. That's dang. Non-invested at all, Giratina. Well, that's not even a Giratina. Non-invested Volcarona, I should say. All right, and Bundle comes out. This is where I wouldn't like to see Bundle because Knockoff just wins. And height, yeah, that crit. I don't think that crit mattered, honestly. Yeah. And there's Terapagos with heavy duty boots. So honestly, just trying to get the faster thing out. That is dirt. Never mind. It's all, everything's fair. Everything's fair. I take back what I said. Everything's fair. Freeze hacks is fair. I honestly think it's worse here. Okay, never mind. No, I don't. I don't think it's worse here. I lied. I'm lying. It was definitely worse on the Corviknight because the 1-for-1 trade. But is that? Oh, you can't be poisoned. I forgot about that. The body press doing nothing. Yeah. You didn't have a way to beat Landorus besides the... Yeah, there was no way to beat Landorus besides the bundle. Once bundle went down, this game was over. From what I'm seeing. Okay. What I want to see so bad. I want to see U-turn in a weakness policy. I want to see agility clicked. I want to see weakness policy procced by U-turn. And I want to see draft rig sweep. For a graph sweep, rather. Oh, that's what... No, it was Trick Room. Interesting. Taunt's a great option. Although I guess you knew it had Taunt. But at that point, like... I see that was predicted. So yeah, Taunt was the safe play. Assuming Agility or Trick Room would come out, which was great. Good choice. Yeah, I don't know. That was just well played. I can't give anything else besides that. And then the U-turn into Terapagos, which now... switches out or just takes the death. I mean, honestly, to save diff, you might have been able to go into Lando. From there, but I see the safe play. Honestly, if this is Guts Conk, it could just clean here. Oh, why does it not have Ice Punch? Wow. Why does it not have Ice Punch? That's crazy. I'd love to see the sets. That was a close battle. Honestly, a lot closer than I thought it was going to be after seeing the bundle go down. But yeah, as I said, there's no way to deal with Lando after the bundle went out of the game. For that reason and that reason only, I would have maybe brought Vaporeon. Or try to do Terra Ice. Maybe Terra Ice Gengar. Definitely not Terra Normal. Knowing Knockoff is there, definitely not Terra Normal Knuckle Stack. I mean Terra Ghost. That's one of the reasons I do not like Terra Ghost Knuckle Stack. Is simply because of that. Oh, hold on. I'm getting a Poke Paste. I'm getting a Poke Paste mid stuff. Where's my colors? I like my colors. This is the team. The winning team. All right, let's... Thanks for the paste. I love the paste. It'll be helpful. Silk Scarf Lucario with extreme speed. Okay, that was the idea. The Terra Normal E speed. That makes sense. Okay, that's a pretty standard Wheezing. Taunt, Earthquake. That's really all you need. Smackdown coverage. Realizing that you're gonna have to do something for the what's it called? The bundle. Covert Cloak to stop icy wind drops, potentially. Or maybe I don't know. Go from there. I like the Assault Vest. We saw that. Heavy Duty Boots, we saw that. Choice Scarf, Protean, Masquerada. Wasn't bad. Actually, I think that's a pretty good set. I don't hate any of this, but obviously some good EV spreads. Salt Cure. I didn't catch that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Salt Cure. Another reason why I might have gone Terra Fighting and not Terra Ghost. Because you're baiting Meowscarada to just kill you right there. Let's be fair. And again, Meowscarada doesn't touch you Terra Fighting. Terapagos doesn't touch you Terra Fighting. Kyurem doesn't touch you Terra Fighting. Landorus, you needed something to deal with Landorus. Terra Fighting, okay for Wheezing too. And definitely better for Lucario. I don't know why Terra Ghost came. I have no idea why Terra Ghost was the option for that fight. Fighting is just so good there. Alright. Either way, it's a good fight. Definitely, I think some changes could have been made there, but good fight overall. So we got Scal and who is this? Thread. Scal and Thread. The Fluttermane team. This, oh, it's not a Sun Fluttermane team. Although Sun would be really stupid on this team. Just a note, Scal. Oh, and Thread's right below you. That's great. And Thread's the Gouging Fire team. That's a good match, a good team to match up against. I like this week 1 matchup. Definitely, maybe a way, maybe not a Gouging Fire bring just because of Fluttermane. And Raging Bolt. I think the 2 of those definitely deal with it. What games have been covered? We are through everything but the Orange County Oshawotts and the Chipotle Choodle, and Clockworks, Kansas City Torrent, and Gordon's, I forget what Gordon's team name is, the Entitled Archon team, right? So we are down to our last 2, but everything else has been covered, Michael. Your battle was the first one, because I do them in order of completion, not based on anything else, just because that's the easiest way for me to pull them off the thing. All right, so Scal, I don't know, this feels pretty uphill to me for Thread, just because that Fluttermane is nuts. Fluttermane goes hard. Fluttermane goes hard in this team, like Gouging Fire, Grim, Petrarunt, Espathra, Keldeo, Thunderous to an extent. Like that's hard. That's gonna be hard to beat. And maybe like your 2 good options of beating it is Petrarunt and Grimmsnarl, and not even then. Maybe Gligar could be useful. I don't know. We'll see. Gligar versus Gliscor. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I don't know what Thread does, but hopefully his own thing. We'll see what the team is. I do want to see. Thread did give. No, this is Scal's setup. We'll talk about Scal's setup later, but yeah. So, despite my encouragement not to bring Gouging Fire, it is brought. Enjoy, Scal. Thanks for coming. Hope you got, and also everybody who's tuning in, or because I know people are just coming in, people are leaving now. The VOD will be available on the channel, so please feel free to look at it. I'll post it also in the Discord server in that little section for content. So if you missed any part of it, it will be available for you to watch. Don't worry about that. And if you made it this far in this video, comment hype in the comment section down below. I appreciate it. All right, Terra Stellar everything, which is a really fun way to do this. Really fun way to do this. Terra Rock Virizion. Terra Rock Virizion. Definitely for Gouging Fire, but yeah. I don't know how I feel about this. So we know, what I can tell you is Scal did drop the Cryogonal. Was Cryogonal might have been a Terra Captain. Hold on. I feel like it was before it was traded. Terra on Gudra. No, Cryogonal never had a Terra. I wanted it to have a Terra, but it didn't. That's what it was. Noted. All right, cool. Got it. I wanted it to have a Terra, but it doesn't. So Terra Rock Virizion, and our Terra is Fairy Quagsire. I want to say Quadsire. What an idiot boy. Terra Fairy Claude. Terra Fairy Quag. I guess that's okay. I don't know. I don't really like giving Quagsire a Terra, honestly. That's just me. I guess Terra Fairy is to cover Virizion, which has to come because Quagsire is on this team. Believe me, something on... Now I'm interested. I want to know over under how many Pokemon have grass type moves on Scal's team to deal with Quagsire. I'm going to say the number's 2. Over under, do you think more than 2, less than 2? Let me know. Or you can say equal. Feel free to let me know in the in the chat. I don't know what's the lead here. What do you want to do? Maybe I'm tempted to say Lead Quag to go Stealth Rocks, but I don't think you have room on the moveset for it. It might be League Pecharunt because you can P-Shot out for free, barring somebody didn't bring a Clear Amulet. And I guess we'll see on Scal's team afterwards if Clear Amulet comes up or not. On the other side, I might lead Heatran, but would be worried about Keldeo or Quag. So maybe not. Gliscor feels like a good lead. Honestly, I would throw pressure on it straight up with Fluttermane, potentially. Assuming that Heatran can really deal with... Well, I guess you could have a ground move, so... Assuming Heatran can deal with Scizor, Gliscor can deal with Gouging Fire, Virizion can deal with Keldeo, Cryogonal can deal with Quagsire and Thundo. I mean, maybe you don't throw away your Fluttermane's definitely the win con here, so, but maybe Tox Spikes, although Poison Pecharunt isn't something I want to see, so I don't know. I'd probably say Gliscor with Rocks is the lead. Try to break a Sash on, yeah, try to break Sash Thundy. I don't like this lead. It's definitely a great play for Thread. I'm out of water. My voice is starting to give. That's great. Great lead for Thread. Honestly, made the prediction. I mean, I don't see a really good lead option, maybe outside of Thundurus. But seeing that Gliscor comes, you probably always... Knowing that Gliscor's coming and Heatran's coming, those are probably designated leads. Keldeo beats both of them pretty nicely. And we're going to see a straight switch to Toxapex. Yeah, great playing. Nothing there. Is this Spikes? It's Liquidation. Okay. Lefty Quag, Earthquake with into the Cryogonal, or Spikes. Whoa, 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 whoa. You had access to Spikes? You had time to get Spikes on that set? I'm interested in that Quag set now. It might be zero attack. Or it could just be, it might just be Liquidation spam because realizing there's a Levitate Mon and a Flying type, it might just be Liquidation spam. I like the idea for Spikes though. Breaks the Focus Sash on Fluttermane, breaks Focus Sash. I don't think you put a Focus Sash on Heatran, but you know, breaks Focus Sash on Virizion maybe. Rapid Spin, Spin Block. I said that about Pecharunt. Great option there. P-Shot out. Masterclass from Thread right now. And Keldeo is just in the right position to cause problems. That is Regenerator Toxapex. So what this game looks like, it's going to be a war of attrition to get the right switch in. The thing I don't see from Thread's team is a clear way to deal with Toxapex outside of Thundurus, which is super risky because Gliscor is on the field. So the cores here are actually really, really good from both sides because you're trying to get that in, to get rid of one of the pieces or to put one of the pieces into such irrelevancy that it doesn't matter if you are attacking into it. I think Keldeo is a better option into this Toxapex, and that might be where the weak point is, just because Keldeo is going to be faster and stronger and have the ability to pivot. But that Regenerator is going to be annoying. So again, predicting Earthquake, we see more Spikes, which is the right play to do. If you have Rocks, I would throw Rocks in here. That was a Rapid Spin answer. So actually, Pecharunt is the weak point. Just kidding. I was setting up a recover. Yeah, so Pecharunt actually is really good here. You're spamming Freeze Dry into hoping something works, but Malignant Chain with Toxic and Confusion is a pain in the butt. There's no Lum Berry there, which forces you to switch, causing a P-Shot, switching back out into Keldeo, which has a perfect position to see another Toxapex come in. This is Cryogonal. If you had read that correctly... Hold on. Really? I'm upset about that. Oh, I went all the way back. Whoops. Let's get back to where we were. This is where we were. If you read this correctly, I wonder what that Cryogonal is, because Cryogonal shouldn't be faster than Keldeo if this is max speed Keldeo, which might mean to me that this is. He has been showing freeze dry this whole time, so he could be choice scarfed to outspeed Keldeo. And I wonder if this is the critical turn. It depends on who's outspeeding who, but I believe the Keldeo switches, assuming it's a scarf. It should not be choice scarf with recover. It is choice scarf. Holy crap. That's crazy. That is choice scarf recover Cryogonal. At least that's what I'm assuming it is. I don't know for sure. I'm just assuming. Yeah, what assuming does though. Yeah, free P-Shot. Every time you think Cryogonal is going to switch out, you click P-Shot. And even if you catch it not switching out, you've weakened it to the point where it has to. So Virizion is going to be the one that try to flip this table, but again, the pivoting on Thread's team is just too good. And here's where Thundurus gets in, although in a really bad spot, and that para is unfortunate. That para is that double para is super unfortunate. Yeah, that's going to cost the game right there. The pivoting is just too good on this side. Another layer of spikes. Yeah, great. Well done. Predicting the switch. Oh, scouting for Ice Beam. Dang. Dang. Now, a fun read would have been for Thread to pivot out there, but you also have your Terra here, and I wonder if you click it. He assumed he would. And this is where you're trying to get... I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I don't hate this at all. Flutter. So, question. Obviously, that's modest. Flutter main. But is this scarfed? I don't know if the speed... I think Flutter main's still faster. Is this Scarf Thundy? Oh, it's Prankster Thundy. Forgot about that. Yes, but the problem is you just threw away your win con. And so this match is Threads to lose. Knockoff, great. Gets rid of lefties. Poison Heal, we see Ice Beam, so we have to switch to Cryo. Which brings in Pecharunt. Which again, we see the Recover versus Parting. Oh, Party Shot early this time. I was going to see Malignant Chain. But yeah, it's a matter of time right now. There's the D-Dance from Gouging Fire to try to win the game here. Rapid Spin to get rid of hazards. As I said, you need the hazard removal on this team. There's the break. And it is Gouging Fire, showing that it doesn't even need the sun to be a freaking menace. Protect would be cute. I would D-Dance here. I would have just... Okay, Morning Sun's great. I would have D-Danced there. Said, you don't have priority, beat me. Yeah, Gouging Fire just sweeps at this point, 6-0s. Nothing stops it. Nothing can stop it. It's faster than... It should be faster than Flutter because it's modest. Although Baneful Bunker's good. A good idea. Obviously seen a little bit more. Switching in... Okay, that was a mistake. That is a big mistake. If Flutter is your only way out of this and you throw it away like that by letting it take a hit. Now, I'll be honest, it's probably not faster than Gouging Fire at a +1 boost. But still, if that's your win con, you have to find some other way to get in here. I mean, maybe they see the win con is Rocky Helmet regen stuff, and if we see that, we're going to keep seeing switches. But Earthquake just sweeps the team at this point. Yeah, you get enough, but it's not going to be enough. You have to Baneful. Yeah. That is an unfortunate 6-0. As I said, like it came down, it was a war of attrition for like 20 turns. Who gets the break? And as soon as Gouging Fire hits the field, the game is over. As soon as that para happens on the double para on Virizion happens, the game is over. And honestly, I don't think, regardless of the hacks or anything else like that, it came down to who made the mistake first. And I definitely think Scowl made the mistake first of bringing in the sweeper, which was the Flutter Mane. Because if you flip the table and Flutter Mane has the boost in here and Gouging Fire has to switch in, Flutter Mane wins every time. But because you brought it in early to try to deal, you brought it in early, left the ability for Thundurus to come in, paralyze you, which you had no way to deal with. Although we'll see. I want to see what your item is. I want to know what your item is. Oh, why is that? No. I want this. I just want this. Thanks. All right. I want to see what Flutter Mane's item is. I care less about anything else. It is booster. We did know it was booster energy, right? It is modest max. Yeah. Yeah. Flutter Mane wins. Flutter Mane just wins if it gets in. And it came down to who got their sweeper in to do the work. It is heavy duty boots cryo. Right, because you're trying to spin. I don't hate this team. Stealth Rock would have been cool. Stealth Rock would have been great, and that might have been the reason I led Heatran. I forget the lead was for this match. The lead was Gliscor. The lead was Gliscor, and I don't know why you lead Gliscor here without having U-turn. I would definitely have led Heatran, even seeing that it was Keldeo. But Keldeo just answered that problem, so... Yeah, I think the only thing I would say about this battle is Thread had Scowl's number from frame 1 and did not let off the gas pedal. It was a very hard match for Scowl to win that had to be played perfectly, and even then, you're asking for Thread to make an error, which didn't seem to happen. So, I don't know. Maybe too much reliance on hazards here with Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes. Obviously, they never got up. I don't know what your answer to that was. Defog? Probably on Thundy, but... Yeah, I wouldn't have tried hazards. I would have found there was not a way to deal with Keldeo outside of Flutter Mane. And the problem with Flutter Mane, which is a problem with, like, also the same exact problem with Roaring Moon, is that they require their boost really to do something in the sweep field. So that was just unfortunate. Needed a way to deal with the Thundurus, or at least to pressure the Thundurus out into the field. I see that Terra Rock Virizion was there to do that, and those double paras were unfortunate. Because I do think at that point, let's actually go see that when Thundy comes in. Because Thundy doesn't come in response to... Yeah. Thundy comes in response to Virizion. Yeah, so this turn really sealed it. 17. That full para was the killer. Because it didn't matter if you Terra Blast Rock here. Scizor lives that. And then your other problem came when you decided the way to beat... The way to get anywhere is to send in Flutter Mane, which is your win con. Albeit, they switched into something that was dead to it. But Thundurus obviously built specially defensive in some capacity, able to click Thunder Wave to shut that down. So, just great prep on Thread's part. I think that won the game. The prep 100%. All right, last and most certainly not least, at least I hope. I mean, we've had 2 6-0s in this first week, which is terrifying. What can I say? The last league I played, I also had a 6-0. And it's hard. Week 1 is hard because you don't know what the teams are capable of, really, until they battle. And, like, this is a great week to throw out some really cool, tech and stuff to see what happens. So we have, this is Gordon and Clock. Clock, down here with the Great Tusk team. Darkrai, Ogerpon, Dragonite. I said this was a good team. I love Darkrai. Darkrai is great. For the win on this team, it's how do you break Dragonite? How do you beat Darkrai? Those are your main issues. For Gordon's team, it is Garchomp. You can't see it. Garchomp, Spectre, Sneasler, Rillaboom, Azumarill, Bronzong, Chi-Yu, Brambleghast, Ampharos, Weirdeer, and Volibee. Obviously, hazards are not an option. Unless you're going to click Garchomp and put it into that role. Which you could do. I don't think it's a great option. Considering you're letting Rabombi or something come in and beat you. So, I don't know. But definitely an uphill battle for Gordon from the jump. And I know Clock is a pretty good battler, so that's that. Let's look at Terra's. Clock's got Terra normal Chandelure. Is that it? Terra normal Chandelure Dragalge does come, I think. Also. So Terra Poison, Dragalge, Terra normal Chandelure. And then Gordon's team with Terra Ground Azumarill is it. All right, what am I doing? If I'm running a Rocks Garchomp, I might be leading Garchomp. I probably do lead Garchomp even without Rocks. The Rillaboom on Bird and Sneasler combo is there on the field. I'm liable to actually lead Darkrai here because you do have coverage. You do have a psychic coverage for the Sneasler. You have, I believe, an ability to get out. You have Sludge Wave to deal with Rillaboom. You have Ice Beam to deal with Garchomp. So I would not be surprised if this is Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Sludge Wave, and whatever the psychic move is that it gets. I think it's Psy Shock. Just to deal with the team. Because if you look at all those moves, it covers this whole team besides Chi-Yu. So I don't know. I might just lead that. Say, hey, you have to use Chi-Yu now, and then that's a free Dark Pulse or whatever free move into the Chi-Yu slot, and then you get to play a little bit of Recover. Otherwise, I might lead Dragalge to set up spikes, Tusks to set up rocks. If you want to do prankster stuff, Tink, I don't know. I mean, I do feel like the best lead is honestly Darkrai, and I don't like saying that, but I think it is. It is the Darkrai lead into Garchomp. So it's Rocks Garchomp. I would throw out an Ice Beam. They do make the switch to you, knowing that it does have Ice Beam. All right, now you switch back out. Here's your Dragalge, and now you start seeing the set of this Chi-Yu being the way forward. So Spikes, Dark Pulse. That's a pretty especially offensive Chi-Yu. Although we do see the loss of the special defense with Beads of Ruin. Dual screens, interesting. So probably dual screens, dual stab. But there's Sneasler to get rid of spikes. Burn potential, that is scary. You never want to do that as a competitive battler. If something has Scald, it has Scald, and you never switch into it with a physical attacker, because that could have been bad. Obviously, to me, this feels like Grassy Seed because Rillaboom's there. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. And there's not really a good answer to this thing on your team outside of Garchomp, in my opinion. So I might have done that. But you're looking at, I don't know if that was meant to predict something. That was a really weird double switch to me. I like the dual screens. Maybe you see that Reflect runs out next turn. This is probably a switch in to get rocks on the field. Maybe to get rid of a Focus Sash on Spectre, or to stop the switches for Chi-Yu. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Another double. These guys, they're playing some like 5D chess right now. That's all I can say. Scale Shot misses, unfortunate. Draco kill, does not kill. That's a defensive Garchomp. Holy crap. I don't even think the scale shot missing matters too much. Although we're going to see it again here. I don't know why you don't just click Earthquake. Balloon is pretty good. All right. So this, I don't know what Rillaboom does here. Besides sets up Sneasler. But you're taking a Thunder Wave, and that's probably not good. Or a knockoff. Oh, Assault Vest. Losing Assault Vest is terrible because that might have been your way to deal with Darkrai. You're losing ways to beat Darkrai right now. And that's, as somebody who ran, my last team that I played was a Darkrai team. As somebody who's run one of those, if they don't prepare for Darkrai, you win. You just win. That's how it works. And if your Darkrai counters are gone, the game's over. Like, you don't, doesn't matter what you do, Darkrai can come in and win. And right now, I'm Chi-Yu at half, rough 60 at 70%. I think that's close to range for Darkrai right now. But you're losing options, and the Assault Vest being gone shows me that with U-turn shows me it was the way. I think unfortunately Gordon's asking Chi-Yu to do too much in this game. Nice light screen. I don't think it definitely doesn't save you. And you're gonna take the last turn of screens up. All right, there's the Azu. Belly Drum Azu. Oh, does it live Sludge Wave? It does, especially defensive. Fat. Hold on, I wrote this game off. I wrote this game off. That we might be we might find our Darkrai counter here. We might have found our Darkrai counter here. Terra Normal, stop Aqua Jet, doesn't matter. Multi-scale extreme, ooh. Wow. The dual screens, that's crazy. All right, Ice Beam Darkrai's got to be able to beat Aqua Jet. No. See, that's the interesting part. I'm interested to know. That was the counter. Yeah, we just watched. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all 6 kills to. That is crazy. That is 3 matches where we've seen 6 kills go to 1 mon. That's crazy. It'd be interesting to know what the Darkrai set was. As I said, I think it is Life Orb for attack. Darkrai. Focus Sash would have been crazy. It wouldn't have won the game here, but it would have been crazy. Now I'm like, how do you beat a Azumarill? How do you stop Belly Drum Azumarill? How do we get to Belly Drum Azumarill? Because Azumarill is specifically meant to deal with Dragalge. And Dragalge was the counter. Because it's still at half here. Like, that must be like max special defense, max physical attack, I would imagine. Because you don't, what do you need speed for? You know? That's crazy. And nothing else on the team. We did see Mold Breaker Tinkaton. Let me pull up a showdown bracket real quick. Sorry, I've been looking at stuff. All right. All right. I want you'd be able to see what I'm looking at. All right. I was just curious about, I don't even know what I was curious about now. Oh, yeah, it was Tinkatink. Oh, why am I thinking Tinkaton has, Prankster? Yeah, pickpocket could have mattered. Yeah, but that Darkrai had to have been, to me, Life Orb, Dark Pulse. So you do just straight up get Psychic. Psychic, Ice Beam, and then Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb. Like, to me, that's the Darkrai set. 100%. I don't know if I called it frame for frame, but interesting. Yeah, there was no getting around the Azumarill. That's crazy. Oh, Dragalge is -2. You do point out a good point, Gordon. Dragalge is -2. But even then, that only does 50, which still lets Azumarill win. Albeit it's a little bit harder for it to win. But like, Dragonite only does 17% here. So that like, even at 25, that doesn't KO. And there's no other priority, so max HP attack Azumarill. Dang. Thanks for the info. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here from the beginning going, how does this team beat Darkrai? Low and all this stupid like water bunny is sitting in the back. Because I thought it was over. I honestly thought it was over when, you know, Chi-Yu got to like, it's at 70 there. When Chi-Yu gets dead here on 14, it feels like the game is over, but the tide immediately switches when Belly Drum Azumarill comes in. Because you know you can take. So how did we get to the Draco, that Draco play actually? I wonder if you click anything else. I think the idea was I'm clicking Draco here to kill the thing on the Switch to stop screens. Which actually does matter. Yeah, that does matter. That's huge. Wow. That Draco actually sold the game. Because if you Scald, or like Poison, Sludge Wave, whatever it is, whatever, Sludge Wave, Sludge Bomb, whichever one I had, I think it was Sludge Wave. You do that instead of Draco. Sure, you're not killing Chi-Yu as fast, but you are burning the turn on Reflect, which does make the win con here. Let's be honest. What's Chi-Yu doing to? We don't see screen. We don't see anything. What's Chi-Yu doing to Dragalge? Does 40? Okay, Chi-Yu actually. Never mind. Didn't matter. Yeah, that game was. Although, albeit, you get to the point. If you click Sludge Wave, right? If you click Sludge Wave here instead of Draco, sure he's not at 2%. But we know, what do we know about the damage into Chi-Yu? I mean, a Scald 17 non-stab, so we're seeing probably about 20%. Roughly 20% here on this turn. That's a 2-shot. That's a 2-shot. So if you Sludge Wave twice, one, you are guaranteed not to die because your health bar is high enough, but you also mitigate another turn of Reflect, and you're not at -2, which then makes this 75, 25, and then you stall out the screen until you throw everything away until you get to this turn, which you then have Dragonite in for. Dragonite E-speeds KOs, and then potentially can reverse sweep depending on its set. That's crazy that the Reflect actually makes the huge difference there. Great battle. I think it went well, you know. For a guy that I'm like, I don't see the Darkrai counter, that's a great answer. Yeah, Azu was a great Darkrai counter apparently, and Terra Ground was great too. to take the hit a little bit better. Yeah, I don't have any other words. I think that was just good, and that's where that is. So yeah, great, well done. That's the first the first round. So good teams, I feel like, so far. Good record, a lot of 6-0s, a lot more than I expected, a lot of really blowout victories, but they came down to, like, that's the thing about, like, statistics and numbers, is like you can look at a number and say, wow, 6-0, that got blown out, but actually it was a pretty close battle. It just depended on someone getting their setup in right. Take the 5-0 that we just watched. Take the 5-0 we just watched. You know, one turn flips that script, you know, to be a 4-0 the other way or something like that. I'm trying to think of the matchup we just watched. I mean, we see that with Ban. I think Banzai's could have gone the other way too. I think a lot of these matches could have gone the other way. And again, it was the Flutter main match. That was the one that I really was like, that match, Thread and Scout, easily could have been 6-0 either way. It just depended on who got Flutter, who got their sweeper in. And sometimes that's all it is. It's like who gets their sweeper in the right spot to maximize against their opponent and sweep. In this case, Thread got Gouging Fire in with the way the Dragon Dance kills everything else on the field. Doesn't worry about booster energy, which I might have done booster energy speed, run timid, depending on the calcs. I'd have to look at the calcs, but yeah, these teams are nuts. And when I did as I said, when I did the poll and the draft thing, the preseason stuff, they all are really good teams that have a lot of potential and can do a lot of really good things. It comes down to the hands of the controller, which is the coach of the team, and ultimately your matchup. I think the worst matchup was that was the matchup for Banzai this week. Bean's team is just nuts. I think I might have given it the highest rating of the season. That or Waste Car, I think, those were two of the bigger, higher rated teams in my opinion. But there was a tough matchup here, and like there was no way for you to beat Landorus outside of bundle, and that just got really exploited. So that's what it is. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out here. Appreciate you all being a part of this. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of these, if you'd like to see something else in the future for these breakdowns. Next week should be a lot shorter because we are not doing the whole free agency crap that we had to do for 16 minutes at the beginning. So we might actually get to doing the Heart Gold best team playthrough that we're doing on the channel, but I think I'm gonna just call it there. My voice is also sore from talking for 2 hours straight, which is crazy. Appreciate you all hanging out, whether you're coaches, staff, fans. Really appreciate you all coming in and checking out the league. Thank you for watching. As I will say again, to those of you who are here who have missed any part of the stream, there is a VOD on the channel that will be posted into our GPA Discord server post-production, so that you can watch any parts of it you missed. If you want to see your battle specifically, if you want to see what I say about that, it'll all be there. The other thing I want to make you aware of, if you guys are new to the channel, haven't watched already, haven't been a part of the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It would really be appreciated by me to help boost our numbers here. Plus, I got other content. You never know when I'm going to be in Draft League again. It's just not a great time of the year for me. If you've been watching my schedule, you know that I've been crazy busy because this is my only stream this week, which is crazy. Until Sunday, so yikes. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel and stay updated on the stuff. I got a Soul Link coming up soon that you've been seeing on the screen. I have the rotation link that's been going up, so please go check that out. A lot of other content going out too. We will be doing Sun and Moon. We will be doing Heart Gold again, hopefully next week. My voice is tired. I want to take a break and not have to jump into another stream right now, which means we might go on a hiatus for that, but it will be back. But also please follow my other channels and stuff. I did put my link tree in the chat. You can type !socials, ! Any social media platform you think I'm on. Please follow me there. They're in the description too. I'm on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Discord, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Discord, YouTube, Twitter, or X. Please follow me on all the platforms. Stay tuned on stuff. It'll let you know when posts go live, when streams go live, when videos go live, shorts, all the fun stuff. Please follow me on all the platforms if you haven't done so already. Again, if you're a fan of Draft League content, please stick around, subscribe to the channel. I have many series of Draft League where I've run leagues, where I've played in leagues. But we're trying this new thing out because I didn't have time to participate as a coach this season. But I did have time to make some commentary, and I really like making content. I'm having a lot of fun with doing this, so thanks for the mods for allowing me to take this role on. It's been a lot of fun. I've always wanted to do something like this with Draft League, and I'm glad I have the time to do it. So appreciate you. Thanks, Beans. Appreciate you much. Thanks for all the help and all the work you've been putting into this season too. Big shout out to the mods. They've been working like crazy to get this going. It's been great. This league is also just turned up in a way that I never thought. And, you know, it started with a conversation like, hey, what happened to the last league we were in? Well, it disappeared. Hey, you want to make a new one? And here we go. So looking forward to seeing more. We'll see you next week for week 2. Same place, same time, with hopefully some really good matches to look at. I haven't seen any of them yet. As I said, I'm not watching the matches beforehand. And I will be pulling in sets and stuff like that to talk about too if people have posted them. So I'll do my best to try to get some coaches to post a little bit more about their sets and stuff so I can break them down a little bit better here. And I will definitely try to take a screenshot of the weeks for each team so that way I can look at their teams and we can go from there. But that'll be great. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you today. Check out all the socials. Leave a like if you like this stream. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Really would appreciate all of that. And if you haven't checked out the other stuff, please do so. Looking forward to seeing more of the GPA. And I'll catch you all in the next one. So until then, my name is Chaos, your coach of the Detroit Red Bengals, who's on a hiatus right now. But I will catch you next time. So until then, stay safe. And as always, burn it up. Later.